Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Darkwolf's Den Radio Show Year in Review Special. Before we get started, I would like to ask that you go ahead and stand if you may, but at least put your hand over your heart for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you, folks, and if you would please remain as you are for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, folks, let's get this party started.
I'm lost and into the dark. Some things are better left unknown. And I'll never find you here, 'cause no one's ever Oh, what a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. Oh, what a sinner. What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays. She's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. What a sinner. Is it in her? Is this real? Just illusion? I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. Is this real or just illusion? Manifestation or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost in a wonderland of confusion. I'm lost in a wonderland
Rippin' Rabbit Hole is a community-driven radio. At times the community comments may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that we or our sponsors do not condone. Views or opinions expressed by the community, callers, or guests, are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of this site. Rippin' Common Sense content is intended for mature audiences only. Enjoy.
Coming to you from a secret cave, hidden deep within the wilderness. This is the Darkwolf's Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and we are broadcasting live from a secret cave hidden deep within the wilderness of Tennessee. That's right. We're ripping through the electromagnetic soup, we're tearing through the atmosphere, and we're tunneling away into your radio like a quantum particle. This is the DarkWolf's Den Radio Show for Thursday, December the 30th, 2021. So whether you're on the edge of a reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, for the last DarkWolf's Den show for 2021. That's right. We are going to do a full year in review. We are going to try to fit all of it into one short hour worth of episode, but there's so much crazy in this year, I don't even know where to start. But first, let's see who all we have along for this crazy ride over here in our YouTube chat rooms, or the Dark Wolf's Den Show YouTube, as well as the Rippin' Rabbit Hole YouTube channel. How are you guys doing over here tonight? Maggie's Ace says, goodbye 2021. I fully agree, Maggie's Ace, absolutely. Who else do we have over here tonight in the chat room? Quite a few of you guys. Looks like Michael Fontaine over here in the Rippin' Rabbit Hole chat says, Happy New Year's Eve, FJB 2021, welcome 2022, let's go Brandon. There we go, there's the let's go Brandon kicking off the episode, right? XGen, Happy New Year fellow traveler, Happy New Year XGen. Sandy B, of course tomorrow is actually New Year's Eve. This is the New Year's Eve show. This is the year in review, of course. Sandy B, Happy New Year's Eve Rabbit. See, she's got the idea. Watching tribute to Madden. That was an absolute sad loss, right? JoJo's waving in over there with the wrench, as well as Sandy B having the wrench over there, waving in. Glad to see you, JoJo's. Errol Taylor. Hi, everyone. 2022 near. It is very near, right around the corner indeed. Lobo, Ohio says, hi, all. Hi, Lobo. Glad to see you, buddy. Terry Taggart says, hey, Sandy, Lobo, Errol, everybody, and the rest that come in the room. So she just went ahead and extended the welcome to anybody who may be in the room later. Glad to see both of you guys here. Who else we got here tonight? Scrolling down the list here. Raider Champion dropping in the link to the original song by Chick and Michael Musco, our feature song at the beginning of every episode, Wonderland. Wonderland of Confusion, but as we know, the words fit better as Wonderland of Delusion, you know, where Biden lives. Jeremy Espinosa, glad to have you here. Longtime old friend of AJ's. Glad to have you stopping by. National Memorial Gardens, also glad to see you over here in the chat, my friend. Welcome from across the pond. Bill Knight over in the Dark Wolf's Den Show chat says, hola, glad to see you, Bill. Hola, my friend. JoJo's also waving in over here in the Dark Wolf's Den Show chat. Euler Greg, hey everyone. Hey, Euler Greg is ready for a new year. I think we're all ready for a new year because this one has been quite a lemon, at least in my opinion, right? And whether you are listening over on the YouTube and hanging out in the chat room, or listening around the world on Rippin' Common Sense Radio Network on the rippinrabbithole.com, we appreciate having every last one of you guys along for the ride. And before we can get to the crazy of this year, we have to take a look at the crazy of yesteryear in a segment that we call Today in History. On this day in 1853, a dinner party is held inside a life-sized model of an iguanodon dinosaur created by Benjamin Waterhouse Hawkins and Sir Richard Owen. This takes place in South London on this day in 1853, and that is today's segment of Today in History.
Say what?
For our quote of the day today, ladies and gentlemen, I figured I would do something just a little bit different. You see, it turns out as I've looked back over the episodes that I have not paid proper homage to our Commander-in-Chief. I know, I was shocked too. So, in all respect to the Commander-in-Chief of the United States, Mr. Joe Biden, here are some words of wisdom from the president himself, ladies and gentlemen. It's overdue that I do something like this. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, words of wisdom from President Joe Biden.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
And just to make sure that you heard those words correctly, I'm going to go ahead and play it one more time for you.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
There you go, folks. But I'm told we have one more clip to play also. So go ahead and cue that other clip here. Apparently he says something even more wise that we missed. Check this out.
What must be what?
I'm sorry. He spoke a little fast. I'm not sure I understood that. Can we slow that down just a little bit and see if we can't clarify what he's trying to say here?
What must be what?
Well, wrong, right, or indifferent. I don't know what you guys heard. To me, it sounded like my butt's been white, but I don't know. I could very well be wrong. I guess you be the judge of that. But ladies and gentlemen, again, our quote of the day today, wise words from our Commander-in-Chief, Joe Biden. And that is today's segment of
Say what?
Now, we got a lot to go over tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of crazy has happened in the year of 2021. And we may have lost tracks of actually all the amount of celebrities that have passed away this year. I was amazed when I went to get a list of these. I went to IMDb just so those are wondering, and there were 543 entries. Of course, I can't spend the whole show reading those out, or I would spend the whole show trying to read those out. So we compiled a list of 16 top celebrities that you may not have known passed away in 2021. Check this out. Our most recent passing, as I'm sure most of you guys know, is the great football legend John Madden, the voice of electronic football, of course. Senator Harry Reid also passed away on the same day. Also, this past year, 2021, Anne Rice, the writer of Interview with a Vampire, or The Vampire, whichever you remember, she passed away this year, as well as Dean Stockwell. For those that don't recognize the name Dean Stockwell, if you remember Quantum Leap, he was Al. Bob Dole, Senator Bob Dole, passed away this year, as well as Colin Powell. I don't know how many of you guys remember that name. I know I heard it quite a bit in my years. Comedian Norm Macdonald, such a powerful loss there, absolutely, as well as comedian Ed Asner passed away in 2021. Robert Downey Sr. passed away this year. Did you know that Bernie Madoff finally made off of this planet? Ooh, I'm so very sorry. That might have been a little callous of me. Bernie Madoff passed away in 2021. DMX, the rapper, has unfortunately passed away in 2021, as well as Prince Philip. And if you know, you know, I guess they say. Rush Limbaugh passed away this year from cancer and complications of cancer. Larry King, the great late night talk show host and television icon, passed away this year, as well as sports icon and legend Hank Aaron. And unfortunately, in the magic world, the unfortunate loss of Siegfried Fischbacher, the other half of Siegfried and Roy. And all of these folks will definitely be missed going forward. I sure would have liked to seen a remake of Quantum Leap, but with Dean Stockwell now gone, I don't know how well that will pan out, right? And sticking with the world of entertainment, we have the top 5 movies of 2021 by their total box office gross. Number 5, F9, The Fast Saga, released June 25th, total gross $173 million. Number 4, Black Widow, release date July 9th, total gross $183.6 million for that movie has brought in. And this really has become the year of the comic books, overwhelming the movie scene. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, release date October 1st, total gross $212.5 million, ladies and gentlemen. Number 2, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, release date September 3rd, total gross $224.5 million. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a lot of money, but nowhere near the number 1 spot for 2021, brought in $328.6 million, released only recently, December 17th. So by far the biggest winner of the year, although the latest addition to the party. This is Spider-Man No Way Home, number 1 movie of 2021. And the comic books, is interesting to see those be the ones coming up in pop culture now. If you know the history of the comic book, you'll understand the interesting irony there. Songs by Billboard top selection, top plays in the year of 2021. Number 5, Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo. Number 4, Mood by 24K Golden, featuring Ian Duar. I really hope I said that one right. Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, coming in at number 3. I know that song. Number 2, Save Your Tears by The Weeknd and Ariana Grande. And number 1 song, according to Billboard in 2021, ladies and gentlemen, is Levitating by Dua Lipa, featuring DaBaby. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, your top 5 songs in 2021. And now let's get into the fireworks that were the events that occurred throughout the year of 2021, revisiting some headlines. Of course, we know January 6th and all the things that occurred that day. That was more than well televised, right? So there was no question the allegations that were raised from that interesting incident, of course, incident of flags that may have been of interesting colors, right? On January 7th, Elon Musk, co-founder of Tesla, becomes the world's richest man, worth $186 billion with a B, overtaking Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. That's right. Also on January 7th, Facebook chief Mark Zuckerberg shows he is fully fascist by blocking President Trump from Facebook and Instagram until January 20th, following suspension of his other social media accounts by likewise fascist companies. Twitter being one of those. January 11th, Trump announces he will not go to the inauguration of the incoming president of questionable legitimacy. On January 20th, the same president of questionable legitimacy is inaugurated and starts destroying the country on day one, at least its energy independence, by shutting down all of America's pipelines. And we know that is very unfortunate. February 2nd, Jeff Bezos announces, after being defeated by Elon Musk earlier in the year as the now not the richest man, he announces he will be stepping down as CEO of Amazon after 30 years, becoming executive chairman. On February 7th, a reason to celebrate for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they dominate the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl of 2021. The final score 31, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 9, Kansas City Chiefs. Definitely a domination on the field that day. February 9th, the Democrats attempt a quote impeachment end quote over the alleged involvement of President Trump in the events of January. February 13th, Trump is acquitted again by the Senate from an impeachment hearing that, in my opinion only, should not have occurred in the first place, but that is neither here nor there. On March, we've finally made it into March 9th, China and Russia agree to build a research station on or around the moon and collaborate on lunar missions in a move that could start another space race. And I don't know about you guys, but I think the space race was actually a pretty good thing. It seemed to at least push technological innovation out into the public's eye, at least to whatever lower level degree that was. But perhaps another space race is in order to try to up the technology once again. I don't disagree that this would be a problem. Anyway, March 10th, Merrick Garland confirmed as U.S. Attorney General by the Senate. Merrick Garland, of course, would go on to make some incredibly controversial moves. On March 13th, Andrew Cuomo is told to step down from his position as mayor of New York City, correct? And due to charges of harassment of a sexual nature. Of course, I was wrong. Actually, he was the governor of New York City. I do apologize for that slip of the tongue, as I question whether he should have had either position at all. But once again, that is this host's opinion only. On April 3rd, Major League Baseball attempts to go woke or go broke by moving the All-Star game out of Georgia after Georgia finally clamps down on voting laws. As a protest to this, the MLB moved their Major League game. Go woke, go broke, at least. Once again, that's this host opinion. On April 14th, Coinbase becomes the first major cryptocurrency company to trade shares on the New York Stock Exchange. There we go. So the first cryptocurrency company to go public. How do you like that? That is actually kind of cool to see that going more and more mainstream. 2021 seeming to be a landmark year. Is I also know that later on in the year, I don't remember the exact date, and I didn't get it on the list in time, but I do know that, what was it, Venezuela, perhaps? One of those countries over there has went ahead and made cryptocurrency one of its official currencies of the country. And I think there was another country, Zimbabwe maybe, or Zambia maybe, that had also adopted a cryptocurrency as their main currency. So more and more we're seeing this go forward and enter into society more and more mainstream every year. Like I said a moment ago, April 17th, the funeral of Prince Philip, longtime consort to Queen Elizabeth II. Prince Philip, of course, a lot of allegations swung his way. Also, April 19th, NASA successfully flies its drone helicopter Ingenuity on Mars, the first powered aircraft to actually fly on another world while being controlled from this one. A feat and a marvel that is absolutely brilliant, to say the least, at least if you believe in that kind of thing, right? I know there are people who listen to this show who have a variety of belief systems, to each their own. May 7th, we've made it into May, ladies and gentlemen. The first 4 months of the year are out of the way. May 7th, ransomware attack on the U.S. Colonial Pipeline by DarkSide criminal group stops supply to half of the East Coast. And there's a lot of theories as to who this DarkSide group may actually be. Theories that I, of course, don't have time or liberty due to the platform that this is mainly on to really go into at the moment. May 8th, though, is something cool. Well, it was supposed to be something cool. It turned out to be something very interesting. May 8th, Tesla chief executive Elon Musk hosts Saturday Night Live in the USA, a show that I personally watched, and I didn't think it was that bad. However, after making a couple jokes about Dogecoin that night, the price of Dogecoin plummeted through the floor instantly, really turning a lot of people against Elon Musk at the time. Very unfortunate event that was. And May 10th, NBC says it will not televise the 2022 Golden Globes because of its criticism of a lack of diversity. So NBC also attempts a go woke, go broke business model. Unfortunately for NBC, I wonder how that is turning out for them now. Perhaps it's helped them, perhaps it has not. I would assume the prior, maybe it is the latter. Stretch that. Reverse it. You know what I mean, guys. May 20th, CDC guidelines change to begin using discrimination against those who refuse to take part in an interesting experiment. Announces that masks can be taken off by vaccinated people only. May 20th, Biden waives sanctions against Putin, allowing him to reopen the Nord Stream pipeline 2 after, remember, shutting down the pipeline going through America at the very, very beginning of his own presidency. Then on March the 24th, the ship Ever Given gets stuck in the Suez Canal. The 400-meter-long vessel was buffeted by strong winds on that morning and ended up wedged across the waterway with its bow and stern in the canal banks, blocking all traffic until it could be freed. and it would not be freed for another 6 days. In the meantime, many ships were getting backed up. A lot of sea traffic had to reroute, and it was the beginning of a supply chain issue that would only increase in issue as we go through the year of 2021, right? The supply chain never at this point has been able to right itself, if you will. June 1st, U.S. President Joe Biden's administration suspends oil and gas leases in Alaska's Arctic National Wild Refuge, reversing Donald Trump's decision. And this also is yet another instance where Joe Biden has found a way to ruin American energy export. Let's go, Brandon. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And with that music, you know we have to go ahead and take a network break right here. So we'll be back with the month of June in the second half of the Darkwolf's Den Radio Show right after these messages. Stick around. Don't touch that dial. That's right.
We gotta stoke the fires and run off the men in black. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah, it won't be long now. Hi everyone, it's AJ the Rippin' Rabbit. Are you enjoying tonight's Darkwolf's Den Radio Show, the year-end review of 2021? I know I am. If you are, and you haven't done so already, please make sure to thumb up that video, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. You'll get our notifications every time we go live. We're here every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, bringing you the very best of common sense radio. Jerry Hicks and I will return again tomorrow night in a special Friday, December 31st, New Year's Eve predictions show. This is an old Art Bell tradition that we carry on here at Rippin' Common Sense Radio. This will be our third New Year's Eve, Jerry and I's second together. My, oh my, how time does fly. And before you know it, it'll be 2022. So join us tomorrow night starting at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, as we celebrate New Year's Eve together with you. Now, I did say if you have a prediction, to use the shout-out button on the bottom of every page over at Rippin' Rabbit Hole. And apparently, some people may have experienced some issues with that button, and it may not be working properly at the moment. So, if that is the case, and you still want to include a New Year's Eve prediction for us tomorrow night, please send us your New Year's Eve predictions for 2022 to rippinrabbithole@gmail.com. You can simply email them directly. As an alternative, if the shout-out button on the bottom does not allow you to record your 30-second New Year's Eve prediction, but I hope that you try that first. And if that doesn't work, then you can always send it direct to rippinrabbithole@gmail.com. I know a few people have had a few issues with that and brought it to our attention. So we're working on that, and hopefully we'll have it resolved. But as for now, just email them to make sure that they're included. Then Saturday night, we'll look at Out with the Old and In with the New. Saturday, January 1st, a whole new year. Starts at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, as all shows do. And then Sunday night, we'll end out the weekend right together with you with the most interactive family game night on radio. Beat Eugene takes to the airwaves the first Sunday of the year, the first Sunday of the month of January 2022. Beat Eugene. But it's not just the end of games, the start of the new year. That's right. The first Tuesday of every month, the first Tuesday of the year, Tuesday, January 4th, join your host, Raider Champion, in the Backstage Lounge for Tuesday night videos, a year in review. Speaking of a year in review, we'll return back to Jerry Hicks and the year in review for the Darkwolf's Den Radio Show. You're listening to the Rippin' Common Sense Radio Network, the Rippin' Rabbit Hole.
If you were meant to be controlled, you would have come with a remote, but you didn't. And that's why you listen to the Darkwolf's Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and welcome back to the second half of the Darkwolf's Den Radio Show for Thursday, December the 30th, 2021. So whether you're on the edge of a reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in tonight, we are, of course, doing something just a little different than most our shows. We are doing a year in review episode, and we've so far made it up to the month of June. We've already had a load of wild incidents occur this year, and the year ain't even halfway through in our countdown here of wild events of the year in review. And on June 1st, we mentioned that Biden had shut down the Arctic National Wild Refuge oil and gas leases. Another attempt, once again, to harm the American energy production system and make us completely reliant instead of self-reliant when it comes to energy, gas, things of that nature. On June 2nd, the House decides to hold yet another questionable hearing, this time about the incidents that occurred in January, specifically on January 6th. Then on June 11th, a U.S. lobsterman survives being swallowed by a humpback whale off Provincetown, Massachusetts. That's right. Apparently, Jonah wasn't the only one that got swallowed by a whale. Now in 2021, there was another person, a U.S. lobsterman. Then on June 23rd, U.S. Supreme Court rules in favor of a teen who was kicked off a cheerleading team after profane social media post, saying that the school violated her free speech. You hear that, YouTube, right? The U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of the teen that the school had actually violated her free speech, right? Just like YouTube does to all those creators all the time. And it makes you wonder why we still use this trash platform. I kind of wonder myself sometimes. June 24th, a condo collapse in Florida kills up to 98 people, making it a very, very sad moment in the history of the U.S. Of course, not the only building collapse we've had, but one that is a very rare occurrence. A lot of rumors got started around this collapse, but in the end, the death toll would go on to raise to 98 people, unfortunately. And that's still way lower than the death toll from other things that have been given out in 2021, if you know what I mean. On July 1st, Britain's Princes William and Henry unveil a statue to their mother, Princess Diana. We made it in July, ladies and gentlemen, halfway through the year of 2021. This statue would have marked her 60th birthday and was revealed at Kensington Place. And of course, I know a lot of us were very supportive of Princess Diana. Though she was not American, she definitely had a lot of American support and was loved across the world. On July 4th of 2021, Americans come together to celebrate the freedom that we are supposed to have in this country, albeit defiant of Dr. Evil. I'm sorry, my bad, wrong doctor. Dr. Fauci. I've got to check my notes here on that. But in defiance of his, quote, suggestions, end quote, that people are quickly getting sick of listening to. On July 4th, Americans come together to support and to celebrate the Independence Day of America, July 4th. 1776, right? Wasn't the original. But definitely it was good to see people finally stop listening to the propaganda being put in place around that holiday, if you guys remember that. Then on July 11th, also on July 4th, there was another interesting event for July 4th. I do apologize. Researchers reveal that there are 14 living descendants of the Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci. So there you go. Leonardo has a couple living relatives. Maybe they used the animus to figure that out. If you know, you know. July 11th, billionaire Richard Branson flies to the edge of space on his Virgin Galactic rocket plane in a space tourism test. Would you guys take on space tourism? If they told you you could fly to the edge of space right now and look down on the world, would you do it? I know some of you guys don't believe that's possible, so if they said they would fly you to the edge of the dome, would you do it if those that believe that? On July 16th, Texas Democrats flee the state on an illegal attempt to block a bill that would actually strengthen voters' rights. And this is another time we've seen voters' rights come directly into the spotlight after the highly questionable steal of the past choice, as you will have it, and the blatant illegitimacy of Brandon. Then on July 20th, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos goes into space in the first unpiloted suborbital flight with an all-civilian crew. So not to be outdone by Richard Branson going to the edge of the space, Jeff Bezos took an all-civilian crew aboard a rocket for an unpiloted first of its kind suborbital flight. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That rounds out the month of July. And it really heats up going into the month of August. August 26th, ladies and gentlemen, a day that will always ring sadly in American history. August 26th, 13 U.S. Marines are killed in an attack at Kabul airport thanks to Brandon's incompetence. The coward still refuses to say their names to this day. As we remember, he basically gave up and waved the white flag in Afghanistan, made one of the worst military and humanitarian debacles in all of the history of America, attempted to remake the Saigon siege. This time it was the Kabul and Afghanistan siege, and just another cowardly, low-down, horrible move by Brandon. I don't, of course, as you guys know, like giving his name even credit, but for our commander and thief, I'm sorry, thief and chief. No. Resident and thief. Demander and thief. There we go. Our demander and thief. That actually explains both sides. That, once again, was August 26th, 2021. 13 U.S. Marines killed in Kabul. The officialdom still yet to say their name. Should tell you a lot about Brandon right there. Dun, 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 dun. Moving on to September 7th, Governor Abbott signs the controversial voting bill into law. Only controversial because it actually strengthens the rights for the average citizen and not for the dirty dealings of the party in power. The new bill prevents 24-hour and drive-through voting, which I always said was a horrible and ridiculous idea to begin with, as well as imposing new restrictions on mail-in ballots, which, in this host opinion, mail-in ballots should be illegal anyway, or only used in certain high extremity reasons, and should not be a end-all, be-all, overall answer to voting at all. It has way too many abilities to be corrupted, for sure. The new law also allows bipartisan poll watchers. Florida and Georgia have also enacted similar laws following the questionable election that was 2020. Democrats fled the Capitol in an attempt to prevent its passage, but Abbott, calling 2 special sessions, got the bill passed anyway, really dealing a blow to the socialist agenda that has been trying to take over this country. September 10th, Texas passed a new law preventing the deplatforming on social media. Once again, YouTube and Facebook in the crosshairs here, as they love to violate the rights of natural Americans, especially if it's anything that they don't like. Republicans passed the new law after claiming that conservative views are being silenced on social media, which we all know that they are, and purposely, which is a truly commie move. Social media now is not allowed to ban people based on their political views in Texas. The law is expected to be enacted in December, but is also expected to face legal opposition leading up to that. And to the best of my knowledge, at least to what I've heard, that opposition has not prevailed. Governor Newsom prevails, though, winning the recall election, which we would all question would be, quite rigged in my opinion. He was able to finish out second half of his term. Recall efforts first made way after Newsom was photographed in a restaurant unmasked, while the rest of the state was under a strict lockdown. Newsom was up against many candidates during his recall, most notably Caitlyn Jenner. And clearly he was not voted back in, at least in my opinion. Once again, September 17th, a health order is issued in Los Angeles County requiring all people to have an experiment done on them in order to enter bars, nightclubs, wineries, breweries, and lounges, and then show proof of said experiment, and yet another communist, almost Nazi-like move. LA County is the largest in the U.S., and scientists hope this move will help slow the perceived pandemic. September 30th, YouTube announces it will remove content that spreads misinformation about all approved vaccines. So let me reread that. YouTube announces that it will show its commie ways and remove content that it thinks doesn't agree with their narrative. And they actually got me on one of these too. This expands the ban that was originally in place, and let me see, I want to use my words wisely here. Any content that truthfully claims that things like that could cause autism, infertility, or cancer is removed by the platform. At least 130,000 videos have been removed in this commie Nazi movement of YouTube. And another reason, guys, we need to stop using these communist platforms and go to somewhere where freedom actually means something. Maybe the rippinrabbithole.com, guys. October 21st, Canada announces it will start a Vax Pass for domestic and international travel. The country will have a watermark certificate that will aid other countries in knowing that they have not got illegitimate documents, as you guys know, because, the world seems to be moving back to 1940 communist Germany for some reason. Go figure. November 19th, Kyle Rittenhouse is found to be innocent of charges of murder for fatally shooting 2 people and injuring a third during the riots the previous year in Kenosha, Wisconsin. For once, our justice system finally worked for the people. Kyle Rittenhouse found to be completely innocent. on November 19th. November 27th, Jack Dorsey announces he is stepping down as CEO of Twitter to be replaced by Parag Agrawal. And I heard the other day that even Jack Dorsey had been removed from his own platform. But don't worry, the Ayatollah of Iran can put up death to America every day and have no issue whatsoever. But your President Donald J. Trump, oh, how dare he have a voice? Sounds a little communist to me. November 27th, a huge announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, us here at the Darkwolf's Den Show were able to publish and officially release our first book called Moon Madness, available on Amazon, ladies and gentlemen. $7 for Kindle, $12 for paperback. Please check that out. If you'd like to help support us here, you can actually get something in return. December 25th, NASA's James Webb Telescope launched in joint effort from the European Space Agency and the Canadian Space Agency on an Ariane 5 rocket from Europe's spaceport in French Guiana, South America. And of course, the Darkwolf's Den Show does its last episode of the year on December 30th, 2021. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to round out your year in review right here on the Darkwolf's Den Radio Show. And ladies and gentlemen, that's also going to round out this episode. So remember, at the end of the year and at the end of the day, all you can do is sit back, look at all the evidence, apply a little common sense, and you be the judge. We got to close it out. That's right, that's it for this episode of the Darkwolf's Den Radio Show for Thursday, December 30th, 2021. Kicking the weekend off the right way and rounding the year out right here on Darkwolf's Den Show. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you're on the edge of a reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad that you chose us to be right there with you. The den may be closing, folks, but don't you worry. The weekend fun has only just begun. That's right. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, Friday, December 31st, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 Central, as tomorrow is going to be a very special show. About 3 times a year, myself and AJ the Rippin' Rabbit get together, and this is one of those times as we come together tomorrow night to do our annual New Year's Eve episode as we go through all the predictions that were made for 2021, open the vault up, pull them out, and see if we had any bonks or dings either way, as well as the submitted predictions from all of you guys out there in chat and around the world. And if you have submitted your predictions down at the bottom of every page on the rippinrabbithole.com with that big red button there, if you've chosen to hit that and send us a submission of your prediction for 2022, we will also be playing that live on the air tomorrow, Friday, December 31st, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 Central. Once again, our New Year's Eve episode. And not only do we do that, but we drop the carrot. If you haven't been here for the annual carrot drop, ladies and gentlemen, you are definitely missing out on a treat. Instead of dropping a big round ball, which doesn't make sense to us rabbits here, we drop carrots. That's right. And we will be doing that tomorrow night. Make sure you come join us and hang out for a wild ride and a lot of fun when AJ and I have the ability to get together. It's always an excellent show. And speaking of excellent shows, also on Saturday, January 1st, 2022. I am not used to that yet. Everybody gonna have to get used to writing 2022 under stuff now. That's gonna be kind of hard for me. But Saturday, January 1st, 2022, AJ the Rippin' Rabbit will be back to ringing the new year right with you. That's right. He'll be discussing a variety of ways, I'm sure, that we can ring in the new year, and maybe some new year resolutions and ways to improve ourselves in the year of 2022. 2022, ladies and gentlemen. All that and more coming up Saturday, January 1st, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. Then on Sunday, January 2nd, 2022, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, the first of the year episode of Beat Eugene. That's right, folks. Beat Eugene is back for another round of fun, the most fun you can have on radio. Come on over and try yourself to beat Eugene and see if you can get up on the podium like old My Life DIY got to the top of last month. And the fun doesn't end there. No. The first of the month, we have two special things that happen over on the rippinrabbithole.com. That is RIPONRABBITHOLE.com. Our buddy Champion Sports Nation, also known as Raider Champion over here in the chat, host the first of the month Tuesday night videos backstage. This is not a radio broadcast episode, but a special thing that you can participate in if you want to come to the backstage lounge by signing up for the VIP pass, always free on the rippinrabbithole.com, and join in for a night of music videos, trivia, and lots of fun. Very competitive back there it is. So if you enjoy competitive trivia about music and music videos, come on back for the yearly review TNV episode starting on January the 4th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. By the way, guys, I currently hold the belt on that episode, as well as a plethora of other fun things. Go scour the site, ladies and gentlemen, the Rippin' Rabbit Hole, and find all the fun that we have to offer. We're running out of time, so I've got to go ahead and get out of here for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of AJ the Rippin' Rabbit, Chick Mandela Effect, Michael Musco, Walt House, everyone who have helped us over these last almost 2 years doing this radio show, and everyone here at Rippin' Common Sense Radio Network. On behalf of all these folks, my friends, my name is Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and you've been listening to the Darkwolf's Den Radio Show exclusively on Rippin' Common Sense Radio Network, the Rippin' Rabbit Hole. I'll see you guys tomorrow night to kick off New Year's Eve right. On behalf of all these folks, ladies and gentlemen, remember, stay awake, but dare to dream. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. How? Yeah. That's right. Goodbye, everybody. A quick, last minute fact, if you will, guys. Brandon Brown won Talladega October 2nd. Hold on. And that is when the birth of Let's Go Brandon occurred. No one's ever definitely an honorable mention. Let's Go Brandon is born October 2nd, 2021, and becomes a saying that will last throughout the next couple years for sure. Let's go, Brandon. You get trivia, guys. What was the hidden fact on DarkWolf's Den Show? Just an idea. Let's go, Brandon.
What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays.
Let's go, Brandon. That's right. Did it make you wonder if that's how Biden sees the world? Has no clue what he's looking at any time whatsoever.
What a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. What a sinner, is it in her?
Maybe I'll make that the theme of next year for all our shows, right? The Let's Go Brandon show. Let's try that again. Biden's lost in a wonderland of delusion.
Is this real or just illusion? Manifestation or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost
In a wonderland of delusion. That's where Brandon lives. He lives in Wonderland of delusion. He's easy to find. He just never knows where he's at. Most lost leader in the world, Brandon, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the final fact. Let's Go Brandon was born October 2nd, 2021 by yet another incompetent mainstream media. And it's something we picked up and will use every year that we can. Let's Go Brandon. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow night with AJ on the New Year's Eve special. Check out the new book, Moon Madness, by first-time author J.W. Hicks. Originally conceived in 2015, this fictional novel only becomes more and more relevant by the day. What would you do if you found out that almost everything your government has told you was a lie? In the year 2103, Jeremy Carlson and his fiancée Brittany Parsons decide to take a vacation in a lunar cabin. Everything was going great until strange things started happening after they went to sleep. Are they being abducted, or are they catching moon madness, a strange phenomena thought to be caused by the lower gravity of the moon? After a fateful meeting with a guy named Zach Marshall, things become a whole lot more clear. They are now determined to expose the governing body of the Earth and Moon, known as the World Council. Will the three of them succeed, or will things go horribly wrong? Find out in the great novel, once again, by first-time author J.W. Hicks, called Moon Madness. Available now on Amazon, $12 for paperback, $7 for Kindle. Not adding this to your bookshelf would be madness.